I'm a psychiatrist and I'm currently being canceled by the Swifties.
Taylor Swift and Harry Styles killed someone together.
People are enraged at Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is one of the biggest artists on the planet. With over 100 billion streams, the highest grossing concert tour ever, and 14 Grammy Awards, she is certainly one of the most successful artists of all time. But TikTok has ruined her. And while looking into this, I was left with some pretty big questions. How can one of the biggest artists of all time be ruined by an app? Well, let's dive into it. The dehumanization of Taylor Swift. Before we get further into this, there's a few things I want to clear up. First off, this video is not directed at Taylor Swift. I'm not trying to beef with her. And second, this isn't directed at her fans as a whole. Instead, I'm talking about this unhealthy obsession that certain people have with her and how it can reduce her to just a product, brand, or even a concept. And this is an issue that's only getting worse. I saw one study that said that the percentage of unhealthy relationships with celebrities went from 6.3% to 26.6%. That's a lot of percentage points. It's a whole lot. And these percentage points are what I'm talking about. Anyways, dehumanization. Let's be clear though, what do I mean when I say dehumanize? To address or portray someone in a way that obscures or demeans that person's humanity or individuality. Hold on though, isn't she one of the most popular artists of all time? How is her humanity being demeaned? I mean, yes, that's true, but this is almost exactly what is causing the dehumanization. And there's a few reasons for that. The first being treating her life like a mystery to solve, not a life to respect. This is something that happens all the time where people begin speculating all kinds of random things about her life. From obsessing over hidden meanings in her outfits to just obsessing over every little thing she does and treating that as a clue, even though it might just be a normal human behavior. It's really almost as if every aspect of her life has been turned into a Law and Order episode.
In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the theory that Taylor Swift and Harry Styles killed someone together. And fans think that a series of songs by the two talks about the story of them running someone over with a car. In Welcome to New York, Taylor establishes that the crime scene took place in New York. In Style, she talks about how Harry is a bad driver and that his car has no headlights on. In her song I Know Places, she goes on to talk about how she knows a place where they can hide after committing the crime. In Harry's song Sign of the Times, they realize that they have to get away. And then in Taylor's song Out of the Woods, she wonders if they officially got away with the crime. In Harry's song Ever Since New York, he reveals that he's been praying ever since he killed someone in New York. Taylor also just released a murder mystery song called No Body, No Crime. Now why would she release a murder mystery song if she didn't kill someone with Harry Styles?
In fact, there's something called the absorption addiction model, and it studied how people were affected when they were super invested in celebrities' lives. And the results were kind of wild, but we'll get back to that in a minute. I want to leave you in a little bit of suspense. Through this though, we are literally turning her into a human jigsaw puzzle. I mean, she could be doing totally normal, totally human things with no purpose behind them, and then people will turn it into some kind of puzzle to decode. I mean, imagine if we did that same thing to people we actually knew. Hey, Grandma.
Hello.
So I saw you were wearing a blue shirt the other day.
Yes, I was.
That's very interesting.
I guess so. I don't usually wear blue.
Exactly. So what were you trying to tell us?
What?
I spent all night trying to figure it out, but I just couldn't.
It was the shirt you bought me for my birthday.
Oh. And some people take this really far and say that she's purposely doing things to get us to solve some kind of mystery.
You guys, wait.
Yeah.
Really milk it. There's probably a secret encoded message that means something else.
In fact, it doesn't even stop there. Let's talk about all the romantic conspiracies. A big part, and I mean a big part, of Taylor Swift's brand has been about her relationships, who she's mad at, who she's dating, who this song is about, and just things about her relationships. And we started taking that and fully running with it, like cross-country marathon running with it. You literally cannot go anywhere, and I mean anywhere. You can't even go to the Dollar General without hearing people talk about Taylor Swift's relationship. Everything I've heard about her relationships has been completely against my will. So much so that there's been entire studies done on her relationships and how people react to them.
Taylor Swift songs that are probably about Maddie Healy, but they get progressively more unhinged.
How would you rate your Taylor diss track compared to the 30 others?
I'm sure it's good.
I don't know if I speak for other Swifties when I say this, but like, grow up, Joellen.
By doing this, we pretty much assume that we're entitled to her private life and her emotions and what's going on. We've literally turned her whole dating life into a gossip column in a magazine. I mean, literally, that is what we've turned it into.
Engagement rumors.
Separation with Taylor Swift.
So we're going to break down the complete guide to T Swift's entire dating history.
Then during that process, if she does something that people don't agree with, there's certain people who will instantly turn on her and they will get so mad at her and they will be mean and not say nice things, which that leads me to another way we dehumanize her. We project morality or identity on her. We think our own personal moral compass or standard should be hers too, and if she doesn't live up to that, we get mad at her and think she's a bad person. We treat her as though she has to be some flawless moral figure, role model, or even a political spokesperson. Slow down. Let's go back to the study that I talked about a minute ago because there's something I found pretty interesting in it. 83% of respondents say that Taylor Swift's relationships have no impact on how they see her. But that's still 17% of people who don't know her, don't know all the details, and probably have no connection to her that are forming some kind of personal opinion about her.
Taylor Swift donated $100,000 to the family of a Kansas City Chiefs fan who passed away at the parade this past week.
Apparently a bunch of people are mad that Taylor Swift was standing up and dancing during musical performances at the Grammys.
People are enraged at Taylor Swift winning at the Grammys.
By placing her on the highest moral pedestal, we don't give her any room to grow, to make mistakes, or even just be a normal human doing normal human things. For some reason, we just have such a hard time letting her live peacefully, which I guess that's one of the trade-offs of being such a public figure. And I mean, that's one of those things that I have no idea what I would do if I was in a situation like that. That was a good lunch, Joe.
It sure was, but don't forget to throw away your trash.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Whoa, are you Jordan?
Yes, that's me.
You're a scumbag.
What?
That was supposed to go in the recycling bin.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'll fix it real quick.
Too late. You've already been canceled.
And really, that's just the beginning of how social media ruined Taylor Swift. The deep respect people have for her can quickly turn into some kind of ownership. The Taylor Swift cult. It goes by a few names: the Taylor Swift cult, Super Swifties, Swifty Spaghetti. Okay, I made up that last one. And simply put, this is pretty much just a group of people who are obsessed with Taylor Swift, and many of them openly admit it. But the ironic part of this type of obsessive behavior is that it can actually harm the very person that they claim to love. Similar to what we were talking about a little bit ago, these people see Taylor Swift as the absolute center of perfection, and that can lead to a few things. They use her as an identity. Many of these super fans build their whole personality around Taylor Swift and what she does and what era she's in. They pretty much eat, breathe, and sleep on everything she does.
Let's get something straight here. Yes, I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift. I have been obsessed with her since 2007. I love her. It's been like a personality trait. So when my friends, even acquaintances will message me something Taylor Swift and go, "You are who I think about when I hear of Taylor Swift," that is exactly what I want.
By doing this, these fans have unintentionally turned Taylor Swift into a tool of online performance rather than a musician. They aren't connecting with her as a human, but instead they're connecting onto the idea of her or her presence. It's like if you turned your local ice cream scooping champion into just someone who can scoop ice cream. I'm so sad. I feel so lonely. I worked so hard to become the #1 ice cream scooper in the nation, and I have nothing to show for it.
Hey, do the ice cream thing.
Sorry, kid. I'm kind of having a moment here.
Do it.
Look, I just don't feel like it.
Well, if you're not going to scoop ice cream, what are you good for?
I'm literally building a rocket ship. Then there's a subsect of these people that take it even further. They gatekeep being a fan. There are so many Taylor Swift cult members that expect you to know everything about her, all of her albums, all of her songs, every single lyric to every song and everything she does. And if you don't, then you're not a real fan.
I want to talk about gatekeeping and Swifties right now, because gatekeeping is not just those concert videos where they're like, if you can't sing this sped up bridge 3 times fast perfectly, you're not allowed to go to tour. Gatekeeping is also telling people how to engage in fandom and what they should and should not know as a Swiftie.
And when they're doing this, they create this kind of weird elitist bubble that's less about Taylor Swift and her music and more about just being a member. Really, there's just this weird one-sided relationship being created through this, and it's not even just bad for her, it's bad for the people who obsess over her. Now let's go back to the absorption addiction model that we talked about earlier, where people studied what happened when people worship celebrities. If we look at the results of that study, people who were obsessed with celebrities were associated with a sense of emptiness, obsessive passion, and extremism. That's me after I ate 1 too many donuts in the morning. God. Dumb. That was bad. But that means that there's literally Taylor Swift extremists out there, and that is scary. Which leads me to the next reason social media is ruining Taylor Swift. We create parasocial relationships. For those of you who don't know, a parasocial relationship is a one-sided relationship where people create some kind of emotional attachment to a public figure. And there's a lot of this amongst Taylor Swift fans.
I'm a psychiatrist, and I'm currently being canceled by the Swifties for making a post criticizing her most recent album. And I think this is a time to revisit the definition of parasocial relationships, because I have been shocked by the comments that have been left to my post. The amount of people who are commenting like they're intimate friends with her, know what goes through her head,
are there with her writing her songs is alarming to me. Maybe we do understand some things about her through her music and through, you know, what she posts and how she communicates to her fans, but we do not know her.
There's people who don't even know Taylor Swift that act like they have such a deep relationship with her. I mean, they'll defend her like they're literally married, or they'll attack anybody that has any kind of critique against her, which is another reason that people call it a cult. And to me, this just totally removes her individuality and just places her in this weird spot of perfection. I can't even imagine what the extremist end of her fans looks like. I don't like Taylor Swift's music. Yow! What was that for? For saying you don't like her music. Now, I'm gonna be keeping track of you for the next 30 days, so you better behave. And actually there's a term for it, and it's called celebrity worship syndrome, and there could be a whole video on just that, but let me just give you a quick cliff note on it. Evidence indicates that poor mental health is correlated with celebrity worship. And actually, this isn't even just something that affects Taylor Swift, it affects many different celebrities on social media. I mean, let's take Rihanna, for example. A couple of years back, there was an obsessed fan who made threats against her, and then he posted a picture of her outside of her house. Or there's that time when a fan tried to propose to a 16-year-old Miley Cyrus. Which, let me clarify, I'm not saying that most fans act this way or even that a majority of them do, but there definitely is a percentage of them that act this way, and it's really just being made worse by social media. And like I said, the thing with these parasocial relationships is that they're not even just bad for the celebrity, they're bad for the person who is engaged in this worship. When you form a parasocial relationship, which is inherently a one-sided relationship, and you start treating that like a real one, you're gonna be disappointed when your emotional needs aren't met. Similar to what I said earlier, this article on NOCD says that celebrity worship is linked with depression, anxiety, and dissociation. And to me, that makes sense because you're trying to use a celebrity to fill something that a person can't fill. Then, like I said, when your emotional needs aren't being met, you start feeling the negative effects of it. Not to mention that it can lead to a sense of loneliness, and actually there's a whole bunch of other different issues we can talk about. The association between celebrity worship and problematic internet use, and Newport Academy decided to just go ahead and post this whole list of negative effects associated with celebrity worship syndrome. So needless to say, there's a lot there, and there could be a whole separate video on that as well. With the rise of TikTok and actually social media as a whole, there's been a whole increase in this type of behavior. And even if it's just 1% of fans who act like this, if you think about it in terms of people like Taylor Swift, who have such a massive fan base, that's a lot of people. That 1% is a lot. So when I say that TikTok or social media has ruined Taylor Swift, I just mean that it's increased these effects tremendously. And that's not good for a lot of people. And honestly, it kind of reminds me of some of those other communities on TikTok that take things a little too far, which you can see that in this video right here. So check that out if you want to see more. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.